Have you met anybody with coronavirus?
No, inte Blekinge. Stockholm, lite små.
But here, no problem. Yeah. I was on the way to Kristianstad to visit a lady who ran an art gallery, a welcome diversion from my imprisonment in Karlskrona, waiting for travel restrictions to be relaxed so I could take the ferry back to Poland.
Polska, duktig, perfect. See?
Yeah,
That's,
yeah, yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah, masks and gloves.
Myślę, że koronawirus jest poważny.
Taxi driver reminded me of the men I'd met on the ferry on the way over. There is a certain basic or primal logic about locking ourselves up when we are told there is a dangerous and deadly virus on the loose, and in fact Poland was doing very well at that time in the spring of 2020, right down the bottom of the league table in terms of deaths per million of population, 80 or 90, whereas Sweden was near the top at 5 or 6. What impressed me about the self-styled art queen was her determination to keep the arts going in spite of her own personal tragedies. She feels it's really important to keep the arts alive, to keep the candle burning for the arts, because you look around you, galleries are closed, theatres are closed, cinemas are closed, the arts must be suffering, and I think, that in many ways, when churches are closed, these are the spiritual souls of the people, of the society. And, if these lockdowns are going on for an extended period of time, you do wonder about the spiritual health of people, not just the physical health, not just the mental health, but the fact that they're being deprived of food for the soul. So here we are in the Art Castle. I've just been driven from the station, and this is an arts and exhibition centre, I guess you'd call it. It's been beautifully decorated. Actually, I think she said she lived here for 2 years while she was decorating the place. Oh my word. Funky.
Hello, Alex.
Rebecca, delighted to meet you. Yeah, very good.
Thank you for coming and visiting me here in the Art Castle.
Perfect. How long did it take you to do it then? 2 years, did you say?
I have been, before I was in the city in another military building, around 200 square meters, and I was there like 4 years. Before that, 3 years in Grand Hotel, and then I came here 5 years ago. But we've been renovating like hell for like 6 months.
We had an exhibition here,
Yeah.
50 odd people.
Exactly.
What do you feel about that point of view, that this is a dangerous illness that could actually end up killing someone?
Yeah, it's killing people who have diseases or older. And even if it's younger people, there have been a few younger people. They always find out it's a disease behind. Of course, we should protect the older people and take care of them. At the meantime, life has to continue going. I cannot lay my down on the ground and die myself, because my life is worthful for me. I need to continue going. And of course I have a responsibility. And how do I do that? Yeah, I do it like the way we did here. We only said 50 people at the time.
Yeah, you're
take
responsible.
A ticket. Take a ticket here, and you leave it when you go out, and we count the people in. And we look outside how it looks like, so we don't have a crowded area with people. But we didn't have that, because people were coming, people were going. The point of everything is, how am I going to survive this? Is it to join the other people, closing the door, be inside the whole time, don't talk to people, be afraid of going closer to people? I don't want to have that kind of life. It's up to you how the morning will look like when you wake up tomorrow. It's not up to the world, it's up to you. We were looking at one article here that came out for like 5 weeks ago when we had the Eastern Art Show here. It was the 12 years anniversary with Art Quiz East Art Show. Mm-hmm. And the reporter who interviewed me, Sune Johannesson, he made a very nice article about me and the freedom that's running here in the art castle.
Yep.
And it says that...
What does it say? What's the headline say?
It does say that the art queen invites in freedom in those quarantine times.
Ah.
So freedom in the quarantine time. Right. Patrick is wearing it in the show. It's also say freedom here, Patrick. Did you see that?
What?
Freedom. Don't close the world down like everybody's doing now, because many companies, they are crashing totally, suffering terribly. And how do they ever come back again? And do they ever come back again? And the art we need to have in our life, because that's the way of our living.
This reminds me of Charlie in the Chocolate Factory or Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland, I think that's a great name for this one. Because this is a mix out of many artists and a lot of different stuff here. Not only paintings, it can be trays, pillow covers, it can be a bed, it can be a chair, or it can be a sofa. It brings people down. People they have to go for help now because they feel so down, they are losing their jobs, and yet people, they go to mental illness.
You are not blasé about death.
No.
Because you have had experience of this in your life.
Yes.
More perhaps than is a human being's fair share.
I'm always saying that the love is more powerful and stronger than the death. So the death can never come between me and the person or the people I'm losing. I lost my dear beloved son, Tim, 7 years ago. And he was
road accident.
Yeah, he was 18 years old. He was in the beginning of his life. And today it's very difficult for younger people to handle situations out there. The world have a lot of problems to offer, and it's hard to find the happiness for the younger people.
I met with some of the workers at the art gallery who had also had close encounters with the disease.
His name is Michael. He worked for the Folkuniversitetet in Sweden, here in Kristianstad, and he has the coronavirus. He has been home for almost 3.5 weeks. He was totally down.
Really? And how old is he?
35.
And does he say it's quite serious? How did he describe the illness itself?
He never had been so sick in his whole life.
Yeah, so it's a serious illness.
Yeah.
For those who get it.
Yeah.
Is it like flu, but like a very bad flu, or what's the sort of the situation?
Yeah, he said it was a deep flu, a very hard deep flu.
What's your view of the virus? Do you think it's dangerous, lethal? Do you think it's a killer?
Yeah, for killer for old people and sick people. But no, either. I don't think that this is not dangerous for healthy people.
Not for healthy people.
No.
Do you know anybody who is suffering from
COVID-19? Yes, my boss Doro here have it.
Okay, and she had a similar.
Yeah, we're very sick and
But she'll make a recovery. You hope.
It's
Just a serious sickness.
Yes, that's a no
deep sickness, but not life.
No.
Not life threatening.
And they're from Denmark.
It was clearly a serious disease, but the question was whether it was helpful and right to shut the gallery down, or whether, as is the Swedish way, people should really be allowed the freedom to choose. And equally important to providing medicines for the body is providing nourishment for the soul during what might turn out to be a protracted period of lockdown. They were, I guess, guardians of our mental health. The UK government seemed to have had little interest in people's mental health, instead choosing rather to exacerbate fear and generate anxiety with their lurid marketing campaigns, trumpeting fatuous claims such as anyone can get it or anyone can die from it. A rather self-evident statement for any disease, frankly, where people over 80 with illnesses are concerned. In Poland, they even went so far as to lie to their populations outright, grossly exaggerating the dangers in Warsaw Main Square on the huge advertising screen there, telling us that men and women in their 20s, if they did not wear a mask, were at risk of death, when in fact the chances of someone in their 20s dying from the disease is about 0.002%. Statistically, you are twice as likely to die from falling off a stepladder.
I'm not allowing the death to control me. I'm not allowing the death to take over the situation, because I have my own plan and I have my own idea how I have to control my life after Tim were gone, after my mom was gone. My mother died for 3.5 years ago, only 2 months after cancer, 7 months after my dear little brother died in a car accident. If you want to look at the dead in a very deep way, you could go down in 2 seconds. But I'm not allowing myself to let the death take over, because my passion for life and my passion for bringing love and doing great things for people is the way how I used to live before. So if you knew me for like 15, 20 years ago, there's no different from Rebecca then to Rebecca now. Because I'm the same person, because I'm not letting the death take control and take me down.
It seemed to me that the Art Queen had been right to keep her gallery going and stuck with the courage of her convictions, that it was especially important during such times to keep the doors open. A year on, and you do worry about the incalculable impacts on mental health of lockdowns. There are no graphs, charts to measure the feeling an old person isolated from their family might feel if they die alone in a care home or hospital, or the isolation of the unemployed who turn to depression, drink, domestic violence, or those who built up small businesses and may have had their spirits broken. And of course, the world of the arts, more decimated than any sector, where life is a precarious existence at best. But perhaps it was a price we had to pay. As my taxi driver had said, lockdowns were very good in Poland. Although he might have had a different view had he cast his mind forward a year to the spring of 2021. Poland had leapfrogged Sweden in the league table of deaths per million of population to number 16, whereas Sweden had dropped all the way down to 33. Not something, of course, that the UK press wished to draw to our attention. At this point, many had decided to style Sweden a failed experiment. We were in denial, perhaps, unwilling to admit that the severity of lockdowns might be taking a quiet but deadly toll on the mental health of society. The arts, and religion for that matter, were being sacrificed at the altar of personal safety. For all her indomitable enthusiasm, the Art Queen was an exception, an anomaly. A new religion was now displacing the old, and the idol of public health had been raised.